I was just inspired by being in Lindsey Buckingham's band that had multiple guitar players, and I wanted to do something different than what I'd been doing, which was like singer-songwriter.
I just came here, a friend of mine told me, hey, you need the Instagram, you need content, you need to make videos, people need to know you.
If we disagree on something, we always try to work it out. I think that's the bottom line, is communication. And we try to work these things out, and it's a band, so it's a democratic situation. We have to, somebody has to give in some way,
All right, welcome to another episode of In the Chair With. Today we are in the chair with the String Revolution. All three members, Janet, Robin, we have Robert, Luis, and Markus Illko, joining us from all over the place. The String Revolution is a loosely Los Angeles-based guitar trio, Grammy nominated, but I think this is the year that they changed Grammy nominated to Grammy winning. So
we actually did win last year.
Oh, all right. Then I grabbed the wrong quote from the website. All right, multi-Grammy winning artists will be.
Well, no, we won one, right? And we're submitting for another one. So we won one in 2024.
There we go. That's fantastic. So thank you, Janet, Markus, and Robert for joining today. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
For anyone watching that is not familiar with the String Revolution, they're fucking phenomenal. I think that might be the first time I've cussed on this series, but fucking phenomenal.
I'm glad you did it. That's giving me, license to do it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You opened Pandora's box. So now it's like hell loose, but
That's awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
I love the situation here. We have Markus is walking his baby, doing great father duty. Which, is the most honorable role.
Milo,
there he is.
say hello. Hello.
Oh my gosh!
Hello.
That's the first baby on any episode too.
Love it.
So thank you for entrusting us with your beautiful child. If one or all of you want to take just a little moment, how did this trio come together? How did you meet and make this happen?
Well, I'll make a convoluted story short. But many years ago, 2014, 2015, I was just inspired by being in Lindsey Buckingham's band that had multiple guitar players, and I wanted to do something different than what I'd been doing, which was like singer-songwriter, playing around town, and I really wanted to focus on the guitar. So I thought about putting together a group of guitar players and really focus on the guitar instrumentally and see what you could do with it. Make it a percussion instrument, make it a bass or something. And
just not make it only about our good looks.
Yes, that too. Yes. But oddly, I put an ad in Craigslist, and I did it because I didn't want to meet anybody that I knew. Or rather, I'm sorry, I didn't want to play with people I knew. I really wanted to meet new people that I didn't know, and new players, just different genres and stuff. So we met through ads, and Markus and I met first, and we had another member in the band, two other members in the band before, but they were in the band for a few years, and Markus and I just really hit it off, and when they decided to leave, which was on their own personal choice, Markus and I, we just we were committed to the band and to playing and guitar and composing, and we thought about, well, should we go back to being a four-piece? But then he was like, well, I know he didn't want to be a two-piece because then he'd have to deal with me on a regular basis.
Too much.
So, yeah, he was like, how about a three-piece, and I went at it again through musician ads on purpose. Again, no offense to the people I love out here, the players, but we couldn't have gotten more lucky by finding Robert. Robert, you just had moved here. You'd only been here a year or two, right?
I'd love to hear that side of it. You get here and you're on Craigslist and
he was on it was like Craigslist. The second time it was Band Mix.
Yeah.
And I was actually not on Craigslist whatsoever, but someone I knew answered her ad
That's
and
true.
brought me
Brought him in.
along. So it started off with Craigslist, where she was looking for some man.
Well, we all know that's not true. I can surely attest to that without saying much.
Yeah.
But no, what really attracted me about Markus was the fact that he was coming in as a nylon string. So I didn't have a complete vision of what this thing would be, except that it would be guitars. And I was expecting everybody coming acoustic guitars. I really wanted to keep it acoustic guitar. I thought it would just be all steel string. But when he showed up with the nylon and his classical background, which is completely different than mine, I was like, okay, here we go, And then cut to Robert, yet another. He plays steel string, but also he plays all kinds of stringed instruments, and he's another completely different background than mine. But you have a great story, Robert. You should tell it.
Oh, well, I came here in 2019. I was kind of disappointed of the way my country was ruling until nowadays. Which
is Cuba.
Cuba, yeah.
Cuba.
I was born in Havana, Cuba. And I was like a little bit tired of the communist regime down there. And I just moved here with my girlfriend. I started, a new living, a new life. Unfortunately, in 2019, COVID came, and we all suffer about that outcome. One night I was working in this factory by night. I was trying to make, my musician living life again. And I received a message in my new Instagram, because I didn't know what Instagram was. I just came here, and a friend of mine told me, hey, you need the Instagram, you need content, you need to make videos, people need to know you. And I say, well, I don't really, I'm like a content person, or like a, like posting videos or whatever. And he told me, you need to do it. You need to do it, and it will pay off. Unfortunately, that night I received a message from Janet say, hey, I'm putting this band together again. We're the Stream Revolution. Is that something that you will become interested in joining? And I say, yeah, hell yeah, I want to play again. It's been a long time since COVID hit, and I just playing, for myself in my place. And that was a huge opportunity, and, the rest was history. We start playing, and we start gigging and arranging and composing. I met Markus. And yeah, that's pretty much my story with the Stream Revolution here in LA.
Yeah,
he had one video on Instagram.
Yeah.
One.
I didn't have Instagram. I only have Facebook, because in Cuba it's more Facebook thing. But here, I start to like embrace the social media for, creating relationships, bonds and connections. Yeah, that's why I met her.
What's amazing, because there's the guitar musical chemistry, but even the first few minutes of us talking before we recorded this, you all seem to get along really well. I mean, there's a really healthy dynamic there.
Most of the time.
We're just faking it.
Okay.
The best way possible. What should I say?
Okay.
It's a family. A band is a family, and all families are slightly dysfunctional. Mm-hmm. So, it's like brothers and sisters, and we do get along for the most part. Obviously, if we disagree on something, we always try to work it out. I think that's the bottom line, is communication, and we try to work these things out. And it's a band, so it's a democratic situation. We have to, somebody has to give in some way. But ultimately, I think what's really important with this band is when we're playing live, or when we're working together, and when we're composing, some things come out of these guys mostly that I'm just like, where did that fucking come from? Like, whoa, and then that inspires me. And I don't think like that's very hard to find. That's extremely hard to find in a band where these magic moments happen. I think it comes from respect of each other's backgrounds and hard work ethic. I mean, and Markus, I mean, he's got a master's degree, in guitar and music, and these guys have all played with major people and they can read music. I've played with major people too, but my education is at the Whiskey A Go-Go,
No.
And I actually learn from them too, some musical things that I wouldn't know about, certain styles or timing, rhythms and things like that. And I think ultimately, and then we get to share that live, and that's really where we shine. But it's a business, it's a band, it's a business, it's a job. Sometimes there's money, sometimes there's no money. You have to live with each other on the road, in the car. There's a lot. Yeah, I mean,
you nailed it. I mean, a band is a family. It's a marriage and it's a business all at the same time. And you're going to have arguments, and
of course,
able to work through those. That's cool.
It's just navigating. It's helped my marriage actually. But Markus has a great story too, coming from Austria.
Yeah, how on earth did you wind up here?
The wind up here, well, bad luck, it's just bad luck. Well, I worked in Austria as a solo artist, and then also as a composer for films and advertising, etc. And I just got an offer from a composer to come to the US to work on some other bigger movies, which I found very tempting. So I moved to New York first, and then I moved to Los Angeles. And then I was in the studio every day for 16 hours, up to 16 hours, working on all those things as a arranger and composer. And then it was exhausting for me because I was in the studio every day, every month. And I just I needed to play again because I missed it, because I was on the road and playing, and then I just moved completely to composing, and that was just not it for me. So I wanted to play more. So it was good for me to get into to play with other people. So that's how we met, and I was like, okay, it's fun, and that was the beginning of it.
It's amazing because the trio has such a classical infusion to my ear as a drummer. It's like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, but it has such a classical infusion. But the band does covers, and there's Crazy Train and Beat It and Rocket Man and stuff. So it's roll, but it's classical. Robert, your influence brings a whole different sound. I mean, just everything about nylon string guitars is not Crazy Train or Beat It.
Markus is playing nylon string, but he also plays nylon string and tress and these other instruments I've never heard of. Markus plays charango. The multicultural value of coming together musically is that's also great, because otherwise you just get stagnant. Yeah. The music you put out is just one way, and speaking of America, for example, it's like there's this Cuban rhythm. There's a name for it. What is it called?
Song.
How do you say it?
It's like a mix of song and has some elements of dance song.
Dance song.
Yeah, Cuban Són music, S-O-N.
I mean, what? It's like, what? And the beginning was difficult for me, this intro that we came up with, and I'm like, I don't know this time, because, I'm rock and roll. Yeah, I'm like, is it 4/8? Like four, can it just be fours, or eighth notes,
So I want to hit on that because, in order to get your second Grammy, you're going to put America, and we're talking about from Westside Story, Leonard Berstein. I'd love to know how the band chose that song, and then the arrangement I want to ask about saxophone playing the melody, but yeah, how did you come to that song choice?
Well, let me just make sure that people know we have lots of great originals.
Yes, yes,
And there are a couple of really cool new originals that we're working on, recording. We have demos of them. We're going to record them and release them. The reason to do covers for any artist right now is to get recognition and attention. And we've all picked different covers to do. I was just thinking of something completely different from like a rock and roll cover or a pop cover, and I don't know what happened. I think I was looking at musicals, and I was just thinking about songs that were from musicals that I really liked, and I suggested it to the boys, and they were like, "Fuck yeah!" And that's such an iconic song, And
and it's also interesting with all the rhythms going on, because you have just if you have a lot of rhythms and a lot of different harmonies,
exactly.
it's already way easier to arrange something with that, because there's just so much stuff to work from, and it's it's just a huge toolbox you get, and it's like, oh, fantastic, we can do this and we can do this, we can do some changes, we can do some
Exactly.
breaks in there, so it's just, and then coming in with Lakeisha, it's just, you don't normally hear three guitars with saxophone, right? Which was already interesting for us. Okay, that would be nice because she's an incredible player, soloist. And then at one point we were in the studio, and then we thought, okay, why not just add something to the mix which is completely unheard of? So what is something you can think of or cannot think of, you could put together with three guitars and a saxophone? And it was, in our case, a marching band. So I thought, okay, let's put it in a marching band.
Well, that was Marcus's idea, because what happened was we were in the studio, and one of our producers, Steve Schnurr, was talking about, I have to do this session tomorrow with this marching band, and it's for this. He works for EA Games, for a video game thing, and then Marcus is like, well, wait, can we do marching band on our track? And it suddenly, took a whole other turn. Of course, we do have Luis Conti on percussion, the legend himself. So balancing a marching band, that kind of rhythm, with actual Cuban percussion, and then I'm still trying to find the one on my guitar, and then Robert's doing his Cuban rhythms, and Marcus is doing lines on the nylon string. Actually, the arrangement, it took a little time, but it came together pretty quickly. I thought. What did you think? I mean, we did go through some different versions, right, Robert? We had. Wait.
Don't open that door. Yeah.
It's true, because we had to shorten it. That the original is quite long. It's in the musical. It's really long, and we're not going to do like a 10-minute version of that song. So we cut out a lot of parts, and I take it back. We did spend quite a bit of time coming up with the right parts, but
No, it's like having a tree with so many fruits that you don't know what to pick,
right.
or it's like a road with so many ways to go. And they are very good, but you need to pick one. You can go with everything.
Right.
So that's why you take some time, like making the arrangement work, and always respect the music and the arrangement above everything, about your personal choices. There's some things that you may like, but it won't fit, and you need to be attached to that and go with the arrangement, go with the best for the song.
No, it's a really interesting contrast. Marcus was talking about, there's so many things, you have plenty to choose from, but there's so many things, you've got to cut off a lot and whittle it really down.
Yeah, it's also interesting because we all work as arrangers in all our songs, and it really is like that, because everyone comes up with some things on we go through it, and then we, of course, recording it right away. And then we listen to it and said, nope, cut that. Nope, got that. So you have, you come up with some ideas. You either cut it out 2 days later by yourself because like, no, that was a shit idea. Because at the beginning, like, oh, that's the fucking best thing I've ever done. And I'm not even taking drugs. Like I'm just like, and then a few days later, like, oh no, shit, delete, and then cut, and then we cut more. So normally there's a lot of we came up with a lot of things, and there's more cutting and more cutting and more cutting and more cutting. And I think that's what Robert said. What the essential then is, because we don't overdo it necessarily, right? So our arrangements are not like, I mean, we could theoretically, come up with subdominant here, the dominant of a dominant here, but we just didn't go this route because we just kept it as close, musically should be still America. And so we went this route, and then sometimes you have just a lot of surprises in there that are sneaking in. Yeah.
Just a time check. It's about 5:30 Pacific time. We need to say goodbye to someone.
We can have 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
5 minutes.
great.
Yeah.
Great. That's amazing. I was in a band that was sort of 70s era glam rock, sort of Queen meets Yes, and the band's name was Chaska. And as we tried to write songs, Chaska became the ruler of the music. It's like, that's a good part, but the Chaska would not like that.
Right.
Disembodied the band from the members. The winner of the argument is the band, not the person.
Well, the name of the band is String Revolution. So, I mean, if you compare our last release, Folsom Prison Blues, where it's all guitar, and percussion, we went the other direction this time. We went guitar and sax, right? And there's a little bit more instrumentation on this thing. So, I think, like Robert says too, respect the song. Choose a song, write a song that you like, that you're passionate about, that you really like and you want to do, and you want to see if it's a cover, you want to reimagine it in a new way without losing the soul of the song.
Yeah. I just briefly want to mention you've got some shows coming up in Los Angeles, Nashville, Arizona, North Carolina. So if you're in any of those states, go check them out. I'd love to touch on the original songs. Is there any one member of the group that has more original ideas? Like, I've got 10 chord progressions I want to share today. Or is that, do you sit down and jam and the ideas come as a group?
It's kind of a lot of different ways. Sometimes we're just like, I think, rehearsing for something, and then we might all of a sudden start jamming on something. Other times, Robert, comes in with some ideas. So does Markus. And sometimes if Robert can't make a rehearsal, Markus and I will be rehearsing anyway or working on other stuff, and we'll start just like, fuck that shit, let's play, But we want to get back to doing some more originals for sure. And like I said, we have some on the plate that we need to get to and get those out ASAP.
And we also just finished an album with trailer music with some other composers. So we were like together with like 3 or 4 composers, I think 4. And so there was an interesting work for us as well. If you get like 7 people together. So
yeah, that's all original. That's not all original stuff. So
and those are songs for the next release.
Those are songs for a film trailer company that pitches film trailer music, and these days you do full albums, so that you have different genres and different moods. And the lady who runs this company, she's amazing, Mariah, and she put us together with these film trailer composers, and I certainly have never done that before, and this is a great idea, It's like,
right,
and
then it might end up in the next Bridgerton, and then Janet will take off at the help.
But putting more guitar in film composition and film trailers and stuff, I mean, that's a great thing. One of my favorites is Gustavo Santaolalla, and he's a minimalist, but I just love all of his work, and it's based around the guitar. So there's really not much of that out there. So that's a bright future, I feel, for the string revolution as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It seems like the plan is like it seems like you're just full steam ahead right now. Like there's
keeping busy, working as much as possible, having plans on playing as much as we can with gigs that make sense, and then composing film and TV stuff, working on covers, working on originals. And we all have other things going on too. We all do play in different, other projects and do other things. So we're all busy. But I think the goal is just to keep the train moving, keep it moving, and work begets work. That's what my parents told me.
Yeah. Hey, now I'm moving.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Willie. A pleasure, brother. All the best.
Thank you for joining while you had time. Please.
Yeah. Marcus, all the best, man. Say hi to the little guy and Ruth, and see you, Janet.
Love you.
Happy birthday, Willie. Is Janet's birthday was yesterday, right?
Oh my God.
Yes, yeah. I'm 28.
All right.
Okay,
Well, thank
guys.
you for joining.
Bye, Robert. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Now we've had the first baby. We've had the first walking around the neighborhood. The first goodbye mid-interview. This is
keeping it real. We try to keep it real.
One thing that just blows me away, and I'm glad that you touched on all these points, is that the string revolution is, to me, the essence of a musical career. You have a project and you devote to it, and rarely, unless you're Aerosmith, is one project the only thing you do. You can't. You maybe teach or write or compose. Or,
we do all of that.
It's so multifaceted.
I think you have to do that. It's healthy. I'm probably the most upset. I'm really obsessed with the band, but I'm obsessed about everything. So but yeah.
But it also helps to keep your mind clean, because you
of course
you need some outlets.
You do.
To play. So I really love to play with orchestra, which I did, or
did in
solo
the
stuff
summer.
or other things. So it's just nice, because then you come back also with new ideas, and
100%.
to keep it just fresh, because we all want to do so many different things, and then when we get together, all those things come together. We put new things in the cooking pot, and it's just interesting. And we love what we do. And then if you come to one of our live shows, you will see that we love what we do.
Yeah.
So it's just fun for us, when we're on stage, when we're in the studio. Otherwise, it would be a horrible job to have. So I think fun is first, and we love what we do, and hopefully the audience hears it. But we love what we do, and and we try to do it good.
100%. Yes, always trying to do our best.
I think that might be a good ending note love what you do, and that's usually not one thing. It's usually several things.
Love what you do and do it as best as you can, and work hard at it. That's what you got to do.
No, absolutely. Well, Janet and Marcus, thanks for joining. I'm so glad after visiting with Janet and my exposure to the band was that one gig in Austin of just reviewing your online presence. And I couldn't make it that night. The next time you're in Austin, I will be there.
I like that venue too. That's a nice venue.
Yeah.
The O2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great. So thank you so much, Marcus. To do an interview while you're walking a baby around the neighborhood, something I've never heard of before. So great job.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, he was a brave soldier, and I guess that was his first interview in a way.
Oh, we put him to sleep.
There is a future in show business for sure.
Yeah, but keeping it real. That day has just so many hours, and for me, it's super important to do things with my little one. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Everybody, check out thestringrevolution.com. They've got shows, they've got new singles, they've got originals, they've got covers. It's the all-purpose guitar trio for
Here you go.
everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Wiley. We'll see you.